At the last round of AMA Pro ATV Motocross National Championship Racing, defending champion number 1 Chad Wienen rocketed to an early lead in the wet conditions at Indiana's Ironman Raceway. A few spots back, top contender number 88 Joel Hetrick was battling to try and make a late race challenge. Moto 1 went to Wienen with Hetrick close behind. Moto 2, conditions were much drier and the whole field was in a heated battle. Thomas Brown lost his fight with the massive Godzilla jump, and Wienen fought hard to find second behind Moto 2 and overall race winner Joel Hetrick, who captured his second straight win. AMA Pro ATV Motocross is next.
Yes, welcome ATV Motocross Types High Point Raceway, a traditional stop in the Pro X ATV Motocross National Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing and presented by CST Tires. High Point, about an hour south of Pittsburgh. Very technical track with a lot of off-camber turns, ups and downs as well, using the elevation all the way around the track. Nearest town is Morgantown, West Virginia, and they're excited about it as both Joel Hetrick and Chad Wienen got a chance to stop by WVAQ, a local radio station, to promote the event. Riders of all ages got a chance to check out the track and all the crazy festivities going on here, but speaking of crazy, then the skies opened up. It's not a weekend of ATV motocross if we don't get some rain and mud. These conditions should be exceptionally treacherous. So people going with the full mud setup, big, thick knobbies there on the 20 of Josh Upperman. But hey, if you're Joel Hetrick or any of the other riders trying to catch Chad Wienen in the series standings, a mud race could be just what the doctor ordered. Sometimes leads to unpredictable results. But if you're Jeff Rastrelli here, well, you're happy where you are. It's been a great season.
You know, this late in the year, going into round 5 here at High Point, never really been that high. You know, I just been in like 4th or 5th last year coming into this race, so I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, just keep it going. Maybe gain some points on the top guys, or just stay in 3rd and just try to keep it consistent this weekend.
And here's the Wienen Motorsports crew making sure that their series points leader and defending champ, here's Chad, doesn't have problems in the mud today. This guy's really figured out the consistency game the last few years.
Making it out to High Point this weekend, and man, we got some more rain, so I mean, it's just one of those things that you got to be able to ride in all those conditions. And one of the things that we really focus on once we get out of the gate is, we got to have a good center of balance throughout the whole moto. And I just try not to hang too much off the machine and get it too upset. Just try to be smooth. And it's all about our prep. And the maxes are huge for us. And the mechanics, they put foam around the machines. Foam on the helmet, try to keep the weight down. And it's one of the major things. And we're going to focus on that start this weekend and see what we can do.
Yeah, there's Thomas Brown and everyone else focused on the start. Look at the big long visor on Hetrick. They've all got their tricks for riding in the mud. We'll see who plays it best next.
ATV Motocross Racing brought to you in part by Prox Racing Parts for all your hard parts needs, and by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. And by CST Tires, where passion meets the ground.
Time for our qualifiers here from High Point Raceway. It's the ATV Stampede here on MavTV. I'm Jason Wygant to give you the call. Qualifying is an opportunity for riders to learn the track and also put in their best times, determine gate picks in the motos, and the gate selection, which leads to a good start, is more critical here than maybe any other race this year because it's the muddiest. Not the only muddy race, but the muddiest that we've seen so far this season. We watch some of our riders out here, like John Natale, who's a Pennsylvania native, digging in deep. You can see already bottoming it out in some of the ruts. This is Thomas Brown. And this track very tough when it's muddy and slick because of all the off-campers and the ups and downs. This is Josh Upperman. Love the look of that Root River Racing, the retro Honda there, the number 20. Hey, these guys can still do the big jumps. Nick Janusa airing it out. This is Brett Music showing you the water collecting in the bottom of sections, and that's where it gets really tough. 422, David Hogsma. This is Ronnie Hickerson. Downhill section of whoops leading into another off-camber. Wes Lewis digging deep. Get back uphill on the 79. Here is Sean Taylor trying to get it stopped in the mud for this corner. ATVRiders.com hands out the Fast Qualifier Award every week. And more often than not, as we watch 77 Nick Moser go through, it goes to Joel Hetrick. He has been so quick the last few years in this qualifying format, and he does it again. The results presented by CST Tires, another ATVRiders.com qualifying award going to Hetrick. Now, Joel has won 2 races in a row here as the crew goes to work to clean up his machine. Can he make it 3? And can he actually gain some points on he and Chad Wienen? He's actually just been splitting the points of them in most of the motos.
Yeah, we just finished qualifiers up. Both qualifiers were pretty muddy. I went back and forth on tires, ended up with first in time qualifying by a few seconds, I think. All I got to do, I think, is just keep my head right and run solid laps today and not make any mistakes and be patient. So that's the key. I've been working on it lately, and this is one of my favorite tracks. Still, even with the mud, I like it, and I'm excited to race.
Hetrick is a Pennsylvania native. Now they're all huddled under their mechanics' tents because rain is coming back down again, and they're trying to stay dry. Moto 1 in the mud, coming your way.
ATV Motocross Racing brought to you in part by Prox Racing Parts for all your hard parts needs, and by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. And by CST Tires, where passion meets the ground.
Time for Prox Moto number 1 at the High Point ATV Stampede. Start's always important in a motocross race, but even more so when it's a muddy one. Notice the stance of these machines have changed with bigger tires. Try to deal with the mud. They're trying to get a little extra ground clearance so they don't hang up in the ruts that will inevitably get dug here at High Point. Here we go. Huge outside line for everyone. But Chad Wienen is going to grab the hole shot, and that is great news for him and bad news for everyone else. Look at that, standing water in the bottom. Joel Hetrick immediately right there to challenge him. So these are the guys that you want to see battle for. They've won the races this year. But what kind of challenge can Hetrick throw while he's dealing with all the mud being thrown on him? Last year, Hetrick very, very fast to this track. Won the race. It was a spectacular performance, but a little bit different conditions today. You see Hetrick's people along the fence, though, cheering him on. Oh, these downhills and off-cambers, so tough when the track is like ice this way. I believe that's Thomas Brown has climbed up to 3rd. Hetrick looking for an opening. He's got it. Right there. Can he get traction? Can he stay with it? No. Wienen able to edge him out. Big jump uphill in front of the fans. Now John Natale has caught Brown in a battle for 3rd. Hetrick goes to work on Wienen again. This is a great one. Little look on the inside there. And the top 4 have broken away. Natale pushing Brown for 3rd and 4th. Right now it's the Wienen Motorsports Yamaha Walsh Racecraft SSI decals. Fly Racing backed Wienen up front. Got Maxxis tires on that machine. Liquid Wrench, Hetrick Racing, Maxxis and Elka backing Hetrick in the number 2 spot. Man, they cannot get these things turned like they can under normal circumstances, everyone having to go wide in that first turn. Now jumping downhill. Hetrick doing all he can, as you see Ronnie Higgerson now moving up to a solid 5th. Hetrick doing all he can to try to find some sort of opening on Wienen. Easier said than done. He's right there. Look at how clean the front of Wienen's Yamaha is compared to the Honda of Hetrick, which is totally covered. That's all the mud coming back his way. Hetrick down to the inside. Wienen knows he's there, but he's a veteran. He's dealt with pressure before, as you see Brown and Natale still fighting for it. Higgerson starting to close the gap. Nice job by the 665. Wienen has dealt with so much pressure through the years that he knows exactly what to do. He's going to run his race, his pace. Don't allow Hetrick to press him too hard. That's how you blow through one of these corners. So hard to get on the brakes and nail your lines, hit your marks just right when it's this slick. So Wienen knows how the game is played. Not going to lead to a forced error. Hetrick's going to have to find another line if he wants to get by him. Same thing with Natale trying to get around Thomas Brown. Hedrick's still giving him a look. See, this is a section it's so easy to make a mistake as you try to make that right-hand turn as the track is turning away from you. It's an off-camber. Track leans to the left, and you're trying to make a right. Leaning a little bit cleaner through that section this time and opens a little gap on Hedrick. And Hedrick's only going to have so much vision he can use. Now, we saw before the Moto, Hedrick put a goggle lens over the front of his helmet visor. You try to extend that visor so if you're right behind someone, you duck your head, and the visor catches the mud instead of the goggles. It helps, but vision is still bound to be an issue if you're right behind Wienen for this long. So Hedrick's got to try to find an opening.
ATV Motocross Racing brought to you in part by Prox Racing Parts for all your hard parts needs, and by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. Amsoil, the first in synthetics, and by CST Tires, where passion meets the ground.
Well, the rain has let up a little bit, the track drying out slightly. I'm not sure if that's helping Joel Hedrick, who's in second place behind Chad Wienen, or not. These two have broken away, probably no surprise. They're generally considered the two fastest riders out here. They win the majority of the races. The question is, what will the order be as Hedrick gets sideways? He is searching all over this high point track to find some sort of running room to get around Chad Wienen. Now we go back to third. Thomas Brown still holding off John Natale. Natale has done everything he can to get around. And Ronnie Higgerson is still circulating in fifth, trying to keep it close. Wienen has really picked up his starts, I feel, this year, and just in the nick of time, especially for muddy races like this. He won the first moto of our previous race, which was pretty muddy in Indiana, and now doing it here. And Hedrick has applied a bunch of pressure. The champ has made zero mistakes, and now actually extending it a little bit. I think Hedrick's going to try to put in one more sprint to get to him. Higgerson is doing the same. He's gotten a Natale. 2 laps to go. So Wienen trying to control it from the front. How about Higgerson, though? Great moves as he closes the gap on the riders in front of him, Brown and Natale. Here's Wienen to the top of the facility and work his way back down. And he's extended it from Hedrick now. Hedrick might be out of time. He gets all the way out in that cushion off of the main race line. Yeah, this track is breeding mistakes all over the place. Oh, Hedrick doing everything he can, trying to muscle that machine and pick up the pace, but credit to the champ. He has found his groove here the last few laps. Notice that big red piece of foam on his helmet, as they found that the mud does not stick to the foam as much as it does to the actual helmet itself. But that's only a problem if you're not leading and you're getting roosted by somebody else. Wienen has been by himself this moto, and Hedrick behind him, but no one to throw any mud at him, and it is paying off. The big man from Galena, Illinois, has to run a solid last lap, and this moto will be his. Now, as far as the championship is concerned, here's the issue for Hedrick. He's won the last 2 races overall, but he's basically been, Jeff Rastrelli, one of our favorites who we talked to earlier, is out. And now the rain is coming back down, as you can see, and mud always makes it tough on these machines. Wienen has had to slow down big time in this last lap as the rain has taken hold of this track again, and things have gotten even more slippery. Credit to our crew for even sticking out here and trying to get us all the angles. It's a driving rain now, so Moto 2 not going to be any better. But it doesn't matter, rain or shine. Hedrick and Wienen, they put on battles. It was a good one early in this moto. Wienen able to find an edge, start to get away down the stretch. And as I said before, Hedrick's been winning the overalls, but he's been splitting the moto wins, not able to gain any points. Wienen takes this first moto. It'll be a great way to make sure the kid doesn't make up any ground on him today. Rodney Tomlin, our podium announcer, there to talk to Wienen. We'll re-rack it, reset it for Prox Moto number 2. You see all the foam, the goggle lens, and everything else Hedrick is trying to use here. But what would really help him, of course, is to just get a good start. Had a good one in the first moto, but he wants a whole shot. Let's see how it turns out. Good old Josh Upperman had it, but it was so slick down to the inside. He lost control. That opens the door. Oh, it's just what he wanted. Joel Hedrick to the lead. So it is now a role reversal from Moto 1, and that red foam on the top of Chad Wienen's helmet That's going to be utilized now. He's going to be eating lots of roost as Hetrick gets the jump on him. I think I still saw Ronnie Hickerson up front. Remember, a great first moto for him as Hetrick blasts through some standing water. Kid from Pennsylvania and grew up racing this series. I guarantee you he has plenty of mud racing experience. Weather like this, we are no strangers to it in the ATV Motocross Championship. Anyway, I was mentioning Higgerson with a 5th in Moto 1. That was solid. And he's up front again in Moto 2, so he could try to make a run for the podium. Man, Hetrick is absolutely flying, considering how wet this track is. Just leaving a trail of rain roost off. Not mud, but it looks like a car on the interstate splashing through the puddles. Wienen trying to keep him in sight. And as we mentioned in the first moto, the vision is the real issue. He's kind of out of that roost zone right now. And this is classic high point conditions. We've raced here at Mud Morris, Pennsylvania for a long time, and you usually get some semblance of mud, be it in practice, one of the two motos, or in this case, both motos. Look at this. Your leader's having to go all the way to the outside in that right-hander and try to find something to bank off of. There is literally no traction on the inside of these corners. Look at Higgerson, 422 in third, not too far behind Wienen. Backed by Savage Motorsports, Walsh Racecraft, Maxxis, Elka, and BCS Performance. Higgerson has never been on the podium. Here he is overall in one of these races, but today could be the day. If he hangs on for third in this moto, the 5-3 should be enough to get it done. But as we saw, he's not even letting Wienen off the hook in the race for second. Wienen now losing some ground to Hetrick. So Joel Hetrick trying to win 3 in a row in the ATV Motocross Championship, also aiming for his 3rd ever victory here in his home state race. The ATV Stampede at High Point. It's getting away. Can he hold on to the end?
ATV Motocross Racing brought to you in part by Prox Racing Parts for all your hard parts needs, and by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. And by CST Tires, where passion meets the ground.
Hard to keep up with the track conditions today, and hard to keep up with Joel Hetrick in this second moto. Now I see a little bit of sunshine coming out, but the damage is done. Huge rain before this second moto onto a track that had already been soaked throughout the weekend. But Joel Hetrick riding it very, very well. Got the whole shot in this moto. It was a battle, though. I thought for sure Josh Upperman had it, but the first turn was so slick. He plowed wide, actually lost grip on the inside, then started drifting to the outside. Hetrick was able to get around him. And from there, Hetrick not headed. And you see Chad Wienen back there in second. This is why the guy has won all these championships. He takes what he can out of each moto. He's not going to hustle too hard. Wienen has said he knew in these conditions it would be tough to really race. It's kind of more about surviving and finishing. We go back to Ronnie Hickerson. It's the ride that dreams are made of. Yeah, it's a little bit muddy and nasty today, but he'll take a first career podium any way he can get it, and he's in position for it right now. These guys now back to jumping these big jumps out here. Just incredible that it's so easy for them that even when it's slick, nasty, and muddy, they can still do it. 1 lap to go. One more rip of the tear-offs, or sorry, the roll-offs, I think, there for Hetrick. And the hardy fans who decided to brave this and come to the fences and watch in the rain, well, they're going to be rewarded as their native son looks for the win. And I'm sure they're pumped for Higgerson as well. Kid out of Cutler, Illinois, has been a front runner in this series, knocking on the door of those top 5s for quite some time. But now to finally get that overall podium, that is going to be huge for him. And like I said, I don't care if it's muddy, nasty, or not. Podium champagne will wash that all right out. Now, it's not happening for Hetrick, though. Oh, wait a minute! Whoa! That engine is about to go, and these muddy conditions always lead to trouble. It's a big load in the engines. You're spinning the tires to get the higher RPM. Also, plus the radiators get plugged, and now we might have a situation. Can Hetrick get to the finish? And does he even know his machine is smoking? He could potentially try to maybe baby it or nurse it. At this point, he has to know it has to be running a little bit rough. But the good news is he has one uphill. You can't push it from here. He makes it across the finish. Joel Hetrick hangs on when the motor was about to let go. A little extra trauma. But he's going to turn out the overall winner and the moto winner here at High Point. And Hickerson will be third overall, edging out Thomas Brown and John Natale. Good to see a new face up on the box.
Yeah, I just finished the second moto here at High Point MX. First moto, I got second. Second moto, I pulled the whole shot and led every lap to the end. Had a little smoking going on the last lap, but babied it till the end and finished up with the overall. That's 3 in a row for me. I'm super pumped. Hopefully we can keep it going for the next round, and hope we'll see you there.
All right, good weekend here, considering the weather, but, great first moto, pulled the Holy, and, led it from start to finish. Second moto, Joel got the whole shot, and it was kind of survival, that moto, but, the Wiener Motorsports, Max's tires were hooking up, the Yamaha, and Walsh Racecraft at the side, and, they got the 7240 really hooking it up, and we got this thing up on the box, a second overall, and, good points day. We're really pumped on that, and we're going to take it on to Alabama next weekend, and hopefully get blessed with some dry weather.
First moto, we came out 5th place in the whole shot. We battled with Natale the whole race. Being the mud, it was a little one line, but we finished 5th overall the first race, and then second race I came out 5th again, made 2 more passes, first and second lap, put me into third, and just rode my race to third. Got third, the second moto for the third overall for the day.
Congrats out to that Savage Motorsports team for putting their machine on the podium. Here's the AMSOIL race recap. The 2 motos were flip-flop. Chad Weenan gets the whole shot in Moto 1. Hetrick all over him. That was Hetrick's best chance to get him. But the veteran, Weenan, knew how to shut the door and holds on to take the first Moto win. Moto 2, well, it looked like there was going to be a whole shot for Josh Upperman, who has pulled a ton of them through the years on his number 20, but he got edged out by Hetrick. Weenan got to second. That's the reverse order of what they were in Moto 1. Now the conditions were even worse here, but Hetrick rode the track practically like it was dry. His machine didn't necessarily like that, as it started to smoke badly on the last lap. He holds on to win it, although by merely splitting the motos with Weenan, still a 28-point gap in this series. He's just going to keep on pushing and hope maybe the champion makes a mistake. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching, and congrats to Joel Hetrick, our winner.